Welcome back to another Advanced Wars by Web replay review, and today we are putting on our top hats and hopping into our medium tanks and doing our best semi-original guy impression because we've got the lively game of the day here between two top players. Spritemare, rated almost 1200, currently number 6 on the ladder, going up against the undisputed number 1 player, new 1234. And you might be thinking, well, Kessler, aren't you too much of a doofus to analyze this high-level replay? And you would be correct, but luckily for you, I've got a very special guest today. Spritemare himself has volunteered to join the broadcast, and I'm very happy to have you on, dude.
Yeah, glad to be here. Glad to be here and show off some extremely not unhinged moves that I make in Advanced Wars by Web. Remember, everyone, a healthy infantry is the worst thing that you can see on the board, and you should kill it with fire at all costs. And especially apply this to everything that you can ever do. I jested a little bit, of course, but
that's true.
It's not far from the truth in high funds.
Oh yeah, this is high funds. I forgot to say that. And I think the burning question on everyone's mind is, what made you pick Drake of all people?
Yeah. So this is a pretty naval-heavy map. You see there's 4 ports in the center. There's an additional port just kind of out in the little boonies. But this is a map where naval play actually has some serious play. So Drake's little bonuses there are nice, but the main reason that I picked Drake are because this is a 50,000 equal income map. And the thing about 50,000 equal income map is that turns into a lot of tsunami presses. And the more times you can press tsunami, that's the win button. And I actually considered picking Max before this as well, because the real big downside with Drake is that the airport is really weak, or really strong. If you look at the map, there's kind of that river that's dividing the map into like 3 almost columns, or three rows here, where it's like, it's very difficult to chase air units on this map. And I think that's why I picked Max, and that's why I was tempted to pick Max. But in the end, I figured I can probably play more aggro with Drake, actually. And we'll see a little bit about that, but it kind of goes into, I think that people think that Max is a brawlier CO than he is, because in a lot of the modes, Max is very much a superpower CO who loves a little bit of stall to get all his units in position. And the only reason that people don't realize this is because he's in tier 2 most of the time with Olaf and Eagle, the 2 biggest stallmeisters in the game. So
I got you.
A little bit of a weird pick for a little bit of a weird strategy, but you know.
Is Drake considered a stallmeister?
Drake is typically considered a stallmeister, yeah, because I mean, the more army that builds up, the better these Typhoons are going to be. But that's not the entirety of the story, as we're going to kind of see in here. Typhoon and global damage in general is good no matter when it's popped. It's just typically a little better if it's got more army on the board.
I gotcha.
Yeah.
Before we get too deep, I should introduce the COs and their powers. Drake, the worst CO in the game. No offense to your pick. Naval units gain +1 movement and +10 defense for all the naval combat that's going to happen in this little lake right here in the middle. Air units lose 30% attack, which is quite devastating. That's like the opposite of being Grim. So even Drake is just the opposite of Grim in both swag and abilities. Unaffected by rain except vision, but rain does not bring vision in Advanced Wars by Web Standard, and there's no rain and weather. Drake's normal power, Tsunami, deals 1 damage to all enemy units and drains half their fuel, so they could get stuck up here in no man's land or something with no fuel, making front shifting with Drake like the nice little rat bastard strategy as your opponent runs out of fuel. And Typhoon does the same thing, but 2 damage, and then it brings the rain, which I believe increases the movement cost of treads and wheels in forests and plains by 1 movement point. Is that correct?
Yeah. Yeah, the best way to think of rain is it's like extremely discount snow, where it'll affect vehicles going over plains and forests, and basically nothing else. But the one bone that the developers threw rain as opposed to snow is that the forests cost a little bit more than the standard snow.
Oh,
But
okay.
realistically speaking, there's a lot of roads on this map. It's not gonna do too much to interfere, especially with aerial heavy.
I got you. And then Drake today is going up against the Blue Brawler, Max. All direct units except foot soldiers gain 20% attack. So as you were saying earlier, airports like battlecopters, they're getting that 20% attack. So they're just mega outclassing Drake's battlecopters. However, indirect units lose 10% attack and have -1 range. So you won't see a lot of artillery or rockets out of Max. Max's normal power, Max Force, is when he truly injects the steroids into his units for they get 1 extra movement. All the direct non-foot soldier movement units get 1 extra movement and then increases their attack to, I think, 30%, but I'm not 100% sure. And Max Blast,
yeah.
What's that?
Oh, I think it's 30%, but technically 140% just because of how the math works in this game.
Yeah.
But
And then Max Blast increases that attack even further to a number I can't remember right now, and increases the movement to 2 extra squares. So, before we dive into the action, do you have any like plans on this map? Like, it looked to me like when I was just kind of looking at the map, like this. Can you see my mouse? This area in the corner.
yes, I can. Yes, I can.
And this area like the most contested.
Yep. I would agree. Those areas are very contested, and I think playing the global damage CO in high funds, your goal is to not get overcharged. As long as you don't get overcharged and you get like a reasonable amount of income coming in, it's very difficult to lose. So my plan going in is basically grab my income, make my money, and don't get overcharged. And that's easier said than done, especially against a player of New's caliber, but you can do some quirky stuff to avoid getting overcharged.
Okay, well let's dive right into this sweet action. Spritemare is in the brown desert on the left side, and new 1234 is in the newly redesigned teal galaxy on the right side. Do you like these infantry or the Star Wars infantry?
I'm not gonna lie, I don't think I was playing when Star Wars infantry were a thing.
Oh, really?
I only really started playing this game in Stride again like about a year ago. I had the short stint as like a 1000 rated Olaf spammer in like 2021 or something, and then I dropped the game for like 4 years, and then just came back last year.
Well, that's awesome. I'm glad you're back. I think it got changed like around like June or something, because I've played plenty of games with the Star Wars, and I started in like February.
Yeah, I mean, I'd imagine Disney probably doesn't want people running around with IP of Star Wars in their silly little game. We're already flying close to the sun with Nintendo as is.
Yeah, that's true. Okay, so we see the first tank out here from Max, and I guess this is Max's weak side. Well, I don't know, because this base, it looks like it can go both places. Oh, but there are these woods here. See, this is the kind of like analysis you tune in for, is me like slowly learning the map in real time. But the top would be your Max's strong side, right? And your weak side. So why do you think Max built a tank right here?
So the general goal of this tank, I think, is to stop me from getting the airport. And even as Drake, the airport is relevant. I mean, even his extremely crappy like duct tape together air units are better than no air units. So building an early tank like this can try to put some pressure and deny that airport. But I don't actually entirely like this move, and that's for exactly one reason, and that's because the tank is not an infantry. And a tank cannot capture things and make money. And there's a lot of white properties here that could be captured and a lot of money to be made. So this is an extremely aggressive move. I think Max needs to play aggressively, but it's also costing a lot of money because that's one fewer infantry that's going around just making you money.
I got you. Alright. So you're going to capture the neutral base, the port, got to get those C units as Drake, but I guess this port you can only build transports because of these shoal tiles. And back... Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, realistically speaking, that port's basically just there if you need an emergency battleship to bail you out of the HQ cap. But
oh, okay. Yeah.
outside of that, there are better ports.
Yeah, that makes sense. Both players have one lab, so if it falls, then the game's over, and labs do not generate income, nor do they repair, making them very inferior to HQs in all respects. So like when you go for the capture phase, you like know this map, or you just go like you just like try to get as much income as quick as possible, like pull open that map analyzer and like use those paths or something.
Yeah, so this is a site read. I have the map analyzer, but I almost never use it.
Okay.
Typically, I just use it to figure out like quickly in Fog of War what the reinforcement timings are. But right here, because I'm playing the Staller CO, and especially because it's high funds, I'm just going for maximum right here. I'm just trying to get my infantry to cap as many things as quickly as possible with as few infantry as I need.
Okay.
And it's, if you think about it, an efficient capture phase, it can basically bump you up like a few tiers or so, because if you look at like Sasha's a mainstay in high level tier 1, and that's for 10% extra income.
Yeah.
But an efficient capture phase can be a lot more than that. So if you're at home and you're just wondering how to win more games, just look at how optimal you can make your capture phase and just be like, okay, this infantry goes here, boom, 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 captures these. Like, gobble up all those properties because the money will roll in.
Is that a general rule of thumb? Because I started doing that recently, but I also figured like sometimes my opponents will just go on the contested properties early, and then I'm just like down the whole game.
Yeah, I mean the magic phrase is it's map dependent. There's going to be maps where you want to rush the contested properties fairly early because otherwise they're not going to flip. But if you're looking at like a general default of what to do, it's hard to go wrong with just being like, okay, I'm gonna get the most money, because income and money in your bank, and like that's options for you to choose from. And if you give yourself more options, there's likely to be a good one somewhere there.
I got you. All right. So back to Max here, the Teal Galaxy, day 5, gonna cross the river there and capture that, and this guy looks like he's going to capture the port. The tank is putting some early pressure on you over here, but you have 24k, so you could probably just build your own tank right here and just shut that whole thing down. Or a medium, but that seems like a bit of an overbuy.
Yeah, well, actually, it's high funds, so I don't want to fight a max tank with a tank of my own because he's going to win. He's got, that 20% firepower. I don't have my tower yet. What I'm actually going to want to do is I've got 24k. That's Neo infantry.
Oh.
And with a Neo, I scare off the tank. And another thing I want to bring up as well, if you look at, so New's taken a lot more of an aggressive approach in the contested properties, where New's base like city skipping to try to grab a lot more contested properties and put on some early hurt.
Yeah, right.
But
here.
that also means, yeah. So that infantry is like running up to the airport. That means New's going to get the airport, but it also means New's going to have less money.
Okay. So you're trying to build a Neo tank to force like New to spend money that he doesn't have.
Basically, yeah. If I can force New to spend money, and also if I can just get my capture phase unaccosted, I kind of make that one tank down there useless.
Oh, because, yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
That's a good high-level way of thinking.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because now the tank is just going to be running around scared off by my Neo tank, and the tank wasn't an infantry that could be capturing and making money.
That makes a lot of sense. So let's see if we see a Neo tank. A couple of guys are going to ford the rivers and cross the mountains. Oh, there it is! There it is. It's almost like you've played this game before.
It's almost like it.
Okay, so this guy's going to go grab that, which I guess makes sense because this is 2 turns, whereas over here you have to go 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, and it'd be 3 turns to get this one started.
Yeah, plus the infantry at the top left corner for me doesn't really have another job to do except for to capture those properties. So I'm going to go let him do that job, and I'm going to go focus elsewhere.
That's very true. But let's see what Max can cook up here. Max also can afford Neo double infantry. Just single infantry right there. And we'll see if the Neo is indeed countered by the... Okay, there's a Neo.
Mm-hmm.
You have any thoughts about that? Or you think that was like pretty much expected, the best play?
It makes sense. I mean, I've built a Neo up there. The counter Neo is basically the only thing that makes the tank not really useless.
Okay.
So if you're gonna buy something in the bottom base, it should be a Neo. And I think it also makes sense because New's pressuring my airport. I don't have my airport yet. I'm nowhere close to it. I've prioritized money. I have not prioritized that, not necessarily contested, but deniable airport.
I got you. Alright, gonna capture some more stuff. Neo moves up, just as aggressively as possible to try to take that tank's options down, I guess. And then this Neo, I think, is like still a couple turns away.
Yep. The Neo gets spooked off here, or the tank can get spooked off here, because it doesn't matter if you're max, you cannot fight tanks into Neo tanks.
Yeah. Would like a medium, like, would that be a bit of a more, like, you know, cost-effective option that kind of still bullies the tank, or is it like too slow and you're just like, oh, I want to be more aggressive with the Neo and it's my strong side, like I can spend money here?
Yeah, so don't let Semi hear this, but I think I don't think mediums are particularly strong units a lot of the time.
Okay.
What would have happened if I had built a medium there is New would probably still build a Neo tank, but medium tanks don't fight well into Neo tanks, and they're slower, and they don't have the utility in one-shotting tanks in a lot of situations, at least with the CO Drake. So what I'd basically be doing is I'd just have a slower, slightly worse Neo, and, you know, medium tanks have their place, but they're usually better as defenders instead of aggressors.
I got you.
Because you want the Neos to be able to break those tank walls, you want the Neos to be able to run out and hit things. Mediums are better if you're trying to be a little bit slower on the defensive, or they hit like a nice budget point for you.
Okay.
They don't really exert pressure quite as well as Neos do.
Yeah, that makes a ton of sense, actually. See, I'm learning so much. This is the kind of educational content you did not expect when you tuned into a Kessler video, but now it's like a little added bonus. Okay, so your Neo can interrupt this, but obviously, like, that seems a little bit silly with his Neo right there.
That would be absolutely silly. Yeah, I mean, there's a Neo tank right there, like, you know, it's kind of warding off my own, where, you know, now we've both got Neos on the board, but, you know, if I go up there, my Neo's going to get smacked. So,
yeah,
that is what it is. But what I have done is I've gotten a lot of money, and you'll see New saved up some money, but still ended the turn almost like only 1,000 higher on army value.
Oh, and yeah, that's true. Is that like a good, like, when I go into like stats or whatever, oops, not that stats. When I go into like these stats, and it's like generated 29,000, like I'd have a hard time reading like this, like.
Oh, so do I.
Okay.
To be honest, I wouldn't worry too much about that. The best metric is just who's half a turn ahead. If you're half a turn ahead of your opponent, that's a good kind of baseline. And in this case, I'm going to be ending, if no combat happens, I'm going to be ending my turn with my army value plus my income.
Oh, I got you.
Which is like 70,000 or so. And even if you add New's saved income and their income that they'll have next turn, that's going to not be half a turn ahead of my 70,000.
Oh, okay.
So,
but you're player one, so is that like, or is like half a turn like the official winning threshold and everything else just kind of even?
It's kind of even regardless of the player, and obviously there's more metrics than that, but half a turn ahead is just like a good baseline of like who's in the lead or so. If you've got, you know, half a turn ahead in income, because the way that the game is balanced is player one will be a turn ahead on one side, but a turn behind on another. So it should even out to, at the end of your turn, you're half a turn ahead of player two, and then player two does their turn, and then all of a sudden they're a half a turn ahead of you.
I got you.
And that's kind of, that's kind of how the game typically gets balanced around that. Now, granted, there's some things that don't show up in the stats sheet here, like New has the airport and has, you know, more vehicles already further up on the board, kind of. So it's not the be all end all,
right?
But it's a good benchmark.
Yeah, no, that's really good. I have a hard time evaluating winning positions. I watched Alaga to his video. It was like 4 hours of like who's winning, and I watched every single moment of it. and I think he did his quiz at the end, and I think I was like 1 for 12. So, clearly you don't know what I'm talking about. Oh, you do go for the inner. Oh, was that a roll?
Yeah, I believe that's a roll to kill. I don't remember exactly, but
Oh, it
a
is.
1 HP infantry, it's not that different from a 10 HP infantry, because neither are capping it.
That is true.
And
But I guess it still stalls the thing at 10 capture points, so like a join cap would be quick.
yeah, and what basically happens here is all of a sudden, because New went for that tank early on and went for that Neo tank, there's not a lot of infantry in range, and there's a lot of things still to cap. And I'm gonna lose this Neo. Like this is a complete Neo sacrifice to get 9 HP on an infantry. But if you remember what I was saying, this is going straight into my charge bank.
Oh.
And if I can avoid getting overcharged, then you know what? I can lose as many Neos as I want, pretty much, as long as I'm not getting too egregious of engagements. And as
Okay.
long as I'm making more money. That's going straight into my charge if I'm losing that money to fights.
That makes a lot of sense, actually. I'm gonna have to do that next time I play a global damage CO. I think I just started a Z game for Fog as Hawk, so I think that should be
Oh.
exciting.
Yes, and Hawk too it's really nice because if a Hawk unit takes a bad trade and still lives, by the end of the turn, by the end of his superpower, it's basically like it was not a bad trade at all. A lot of the time.
Yeah, that's true. His superpower is so busted. Okay, but he takes the shot. 5-7, and even tank going in there. Oh, your Neo's trapped as well. So yeah, you are losing the Neo for City. But I guess it's high funds, so.
Yeah.
There's a replacement Neo. Oh, but you also have a replacement Neo, so we're going to have a big Neo chain over here. It's going to be very exciting.
And if you'll look too, just look at that sweet charge here.
Yeah.
Already almost halfway. Well, about a third of the way to my superpower. And the really nice thing about global damage that's underrated is you can just press that button and it will do value. And it's really hard to get a bad global damage turn. Max, if you charge up his super all the way, you've got to find an opportunity to use it. So if I can get my super all the way charged and press that thing before Max can use the super, and I get away scot-free with the turn of global damage, any damage Max is doing is going straight back into my charge bank.
That's a very good point, yeah. And you're like already almost halfway there, and probably by the time this Neo gets involved, you'll have it. We also see this guy right here. I mean, this is a King David infantry because the reinforcements have retreated, and he's just completely hanging. But I think you go in, it's going to be a 6-7. The 6-7 guy in the comments, you win today. It's going to be a 6-7, but I think you can still, you can chain this infantry as well. This infantry will be done next turn, so I think right here this might be a little too much for Max and might lose this infantry.
I actually disagree, because
really?
if you look at the map, if you look at what my infantry was going to do otherwise, it was probably going to capture the city that's right below it.
Okay.
And in order to stop that city, you'd have to slam into something. And now what News set up is if I want to do that, all of a sudden now I'm just letting a contested city get capped for free.
Well, I guess you can
no.
I guess you can make the argument though, instead of attacking here, you can just capture this anyway, and then you both trade contested cities.
That's true, but the ball's in New's court then, where New can then just swing with the infantry. It doesn't have to complete the capture. It just can stand there.
I gotcha. Okay, that makes sense.
And if I swing there, and if I swing there too, there's a battle copter that's inbound. This is Max's major advantage. The air on this map is really, really, really good. This is one of the better air maps in the entire Global League. Well, not Global League pool, but Live League pool. This is dream for battle copters. And that's going to make it really hard for me to defend that peninsula long term.
I gotcha. Okay, that makes sense. So we can add that to the blunder list. But hey, learn something new every day. You're late on the airport, but I guess it doesn't matter because you're Drake. and Neotank's just gonna weaken an infantry to stop caps, slow him down a little bit. Ooh, nice blocking over here. I don't think his 9 can one-shot this on the bridge. I think on a max with the comm tower, I think it's a roll if it's a 10 HP, but I don't think a 9 HP can.
No, sorry, I don't think so either. There's a potential tactic with stacking the 1 HP infantry to maybe give it a roll, but also what's happening is that infantry's in my base range. So it's going to be hard to continue. Yeah, it's going to be hard to continue a fight there.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. So good blocking right there. You already know I'm not finding that. And now you're going to try it. I think it looks like you're going to defend these from afar, as I don't think you can really go in. You certainly can't go into this one with the copter right there. And I guess, wait, were you in range of that one even? Oh no, you couldn't even start any of them. So yeah, you just have to defend, I guess. This guy just boldly moves forward, but out of copter range. Excuse me.
Yeah, when in doubt, just move your dudes as far forward as you can safely, and that's probably going to be one of the better moves on the board.
Hey, that's the one thing I do right, is move forward, hold W.
Yeah, W's.
Oh, but yeah, the problem with this is right here is like, the anti-air is right here, but then the copter can just, you know, just fly its happy little behind over here and pressure this area, and you have to build an anti-air from this base. Or you'd have to go all the way around to the bridge, but that's going to be really hard because Max will have tanks to smack your anti-air right there.
Yeah, and this is Max's major advantage. Like, that peninsula is exceedingly difficult to hold against a combined air and ground attack. And in general, it's really difficult for one base to ever respond to an airport and a base just building copter and tank every turn. It's just really hard to defend, especially against Max.
That makes sense.
So News trying to end this game by getting that HQ, and it's a very serious threat. There's a very good reason that Max has viability here.
That makes a lot of sense. Which I'm going to say a lot, because you're the number 6 player, and I think I'm like number 4,000, so only 3,994 spots, and then I'm catching you. Okay.
You gotta climb somewhere. You know?
Yeah, exactly. So Max is gonna get that pick off on that Neo tank and just retreats everything. Gonna join cap, and I guess you could still interrupt this, but then Max will probably pounce.
Yeah, Max will pounce. He's got 2 Neos there. Yeah. There's a lot of firepower there for Max. If I were to swing on that.
And then you have the Neo chain, but I don't think you can just go Neo for Neo the same reason you can't go tank for tank.
Well, Max has that additional 20% firepower. So he's going to also just get a better end of a lot of these fights, if they happen like that.
What about like maybe building like an artillery or a rocket and sitting in on that city and like trying to defend with that?
That's an entirely viable option, honestly. And if I were more inclined to play it slowly, I probably would actually seriously look at that. It's a really good rocket spot, and especially it's a good rocket spot because Max doesn't really have any way of getting air into range, and even if he does get his units into range, it's in base range. So it's exerting pressure from base range, where it's nice, cozy, safe, tucked behind the river. If you can manage to get a rockets there, that is a place that rockets would do major work. Okay,
sweet. I'm glad I'm not totally out of my gourd. I get a couple things right every once in a while. But gonna go start the airport, going in for the interrupt, and yeah, I think that's a guaranteed one-shot with the comm tower. But Max, another Neo tank chain. And this, I guess this Neo tank's also just in case you have to hit this guy for whatever reason.
Yeah, and it's the same exact thinking here again. If I just kill that infantry, now all of a sudden we're getting into a brawl on New's weak side. And one of the big things about a weak side, strong side dynamic is you're fighting on your opponent's weak side, and they need to start fighting against you. They're building vehicles, they're not building infantry, so I'm fully expecting that I'll lose this brawl at some point. But when I lose the brawl, I'm just like, all right, cool. You and what infantry? What are you getting out of it?
That's true.
And again, it's the same thing where I'm going to lose that peninsula unless something happens because the copters and tanks are just going to be too overwhelming. So I need to get my power online because until I get my power online, I mean, Drake's kind of the worst CO in the game until he gets power online because he has a strictly bad day-to-day.
That's true. I mean, that 10% defense, like, what if you build a battleship and he builds a submarine? Maybe your battleship could live on, like, 3 HP instead of 2 or something.
Stay tuned, stay tuned.
Oh,
yeah, I mean, there are positive aspects to the day-to-day, but having crippled air units is extremely dangerous.
Yeah, especially on a, like this map.
Mm-hmm. And also that infantry attack, I'm losing the peninsula. I just want to make sure he doesn't have healthy infantry in range to capture anything. So I'm going to start chipping away at him.
That makes sense. And your anti-air is going to try and, looks like going to try and cross the bridge. But again, that's going to be hard because Max can like target fire your anti-air with the tanks, and then his copters will be free.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so using the Neo tank and the tank to clear that, which means this is going to be a nice lovely city shot. Bang! But now you're almost to super, actually. 36k. Oh, I see. So you're budgeting your power by just using Neo tanks. Like by sending one at a time, you're guaranteed not overcharging. I think I'm clicking.
Yes, sirree, yes, sirree. And more than that, too. If I manage to press my button before Max presses his, and on the power turn for Max, or the power turn that I have the rain going, I make it really bad for Max to swing in. As long as I don't let Max just build up a bunch of forces and obliterate me with a superpower, I should be good to go, as long as I don't lose too much in doing so.
Yeah, I think I see the vision. I think it's coming together. This is awesome.
Mm-hmm.
It's like when you don't know how to make Pop-Tarts, and then you open the wrapper. It's like, oh, I see where we're going with this.
What an oddly specific example. Yes.
That's from a comedian who's like talking about. He's like, why does a Pop-Tarts box have instructions? And it's just the funniest thing that I keep thinking of. Like every time like something clicks in my head, I'm like, oh, this is just like the Pop-Tarts instructions. But okay, so Max is going in for a couple of good shots here. Goes in for an interrupt, takes out your infantry right there, weakens that guy. So yeah, you are going to lose the peninsula, but there's the anti-air right there to meet the copter before your lab goes under attack. And then tank looks like it's shifting. Actually, it's a really good flexible position for the tank. And this is why this guy's better than me. This is like perfect positioning for that thing.
Yeah, it's scary too because Max also now has Threat of Power online. And, you know, I think I make it rain this turn, but at all times I've got to worry about Max just going like, okay, I move further than you now and I hit you harder. Which is a very difficult prospect to fight.
Yeah, that makes sense. Oh, going to sack the Neo. Almost have Typhoon, needs 2k. That shouldn't be too hard. Oh, that'll do it. Bang. Oh, not getting to 1. I was wondering. Oh, let's see. Okay, so you can only go there. I was like, if you could go all the way here, because I didn't see where it started, you could have left that at 1 and then popped your super, and then that'd be at 0.1. Your infantry could guaranteed take it out.
Yes, but even if my infantry could, I think I just want it making money.
That's fair.
A 1 HP Neo is not going to be healing to full anytime soon in a high fun Drake game.
that's very true. So clangs that power down, and the rain has fallen. All of Max's units take 2 damage. So about 100,000 all the way down to 83. Max is still ahead in unit value, but we will see what kind of damage Drake can inflict. Right now, Drake is just getting properties. Now takes out the infantry right there. Oh, we're going to interrupt the cap. Oh, this is smart. So this guy can get on it, start afresh, and then take out that 1 HP on the city there. Nicely done. And gonna take a shot there. Anti-air moves up. Drake is unaffected by the rain movement penalty, right? And the vision.
Well, he's affected by the vision actually, which makes for some interesting like ordering in Fog of War. But fortunately, this isn't Fog. I just get to ignorantly press that button when I have it.
Yeah. I'm starting some Fog Z games because I need to actually learn how to play it because I just have no clue. And there's only one way to do it, and that's to get my cheeks clapped in some Z games.
I mean, getting cheeks. That's how I got good. Is just getting cheeks claps. Like, the best way to get good is just to lose a bunch and figure out why you lost.
That's true. Yeah. For me though, I'm just like more like I can see like after the fact. Like I'm just like, oh, this looks like a good idea, and then it's wrong. But it's hard.
Yeah.
Like,
That's the process.
yeah, I have another video coming where I like actually played like the best game ever and still lost. So that'll be a really interesting one to go over.
Yeah.
I'm gonna. Oh, that's right in anti-air range. But I guess Max really wants to deny that income. You're up one city. This. No, it can't even get there with a super. Okay, another copter. You kind of have the airport locked too, but I guess there's 3 copters, so your anti-air can only shoot 1, so Max is cool with that.
Yep. Yeah, Advanced Wars units can only shoot one thing at a time. So if it's going to shoot one thing at a time anyways, you might as well give it a lot of things to shoot at, because it can only shoot one.
Not Eagle units.
That's true, that's why they're good.
Yeah. These Neo-Tanks are going to go back to get healed, and then this Neo-Tank protects. This tank's running out of fuel, 15 fuel, and it's going to be... Actually, it could still always go back and get refueled, but you got to be careful about that. This tank could get stranded up in the front lines.
Alright, so I have a new mission now as the
Okay.
Drake player, and that is to not let Max get a good superpower turn. Because I've just burnt my awesome Tsunami button to get a bunch of early damage. But what that also means is now I am, again, a CO with a pretty strictly negative day-to-day, and I'm fighting superpower charged Max piloted by the top of the ladder, which is a terrifying prospect under any circumstances. So I just need to hang on and trade units roughly equally and not let him blow me up with a complete superpower right now. And that's what I'm going to try to play for.
I gotcha. Yeah, that's a good strategy. I was just literally about to ask, like, what would you do in your position? Because I have a hard time formulating a plan. Because it's gonna it's gonna be really hard for you to get this. It's just too close to the airport, and there's too many vehicles. And this is, I guess this is your strong side. But still, it's gonna be really hard to get this with 4 Neo-Tanks in the area. So that's why I have a hard time formulating plans. And Hunch said have a target, oh, I'm gonna try to get this city. I'm gonna try to get this city. But I just have a hard time coming up with those and coming up with abstract plans. That's just something I struggle with.
Yeah, I mean that's something that takes experience. I mean, that's definitely one of the more difficult parts of this game, but also any game in general. And to answer kind of the implied question of what my target is here, my target now is just holding on to roughly equal income and seeing if I can put a little bit of pressure on his lap now.
I got you.
And I don't expect to take it, but what I'm expecting is I can maybe cause some issues in forcing him to defend it.
Okay, that makes sense.
But if you look at my income though, I'm at 48,000 here. There's still 4 uncapped properties on the map. I kind of have the income lead as Drake here for now, which is 5 uncapped properties, which is really nice. And the income is super high right now, which is also really nice for Drake.
Yeah, because you could charge
I'm
quicker.
good. Yeah, I mean, Drake is the superpower button. That's all he does. He is the superpower button, and the more superpowers you press, the better.
Gotcha. What about spamming his normal power for the fuel drain? Is that just kind of niche?
You can do it, and it can have some niche if your opponent is super heavy into the air. But typically with the way that... So the normal power is 4 bars of charge for 1 damage, and the superpower is 7 for 2.
I see.
And then you also get that sweet, sweet rain, and you don't have to deal as much with the charge decay. So, in general, Drake's superpower is better. But
okay.
The normal power has some place sometimes. It's more niche though.
I gotcha. And you built the bomber over here. Is this just to counter the Neo-Tanks and force him to build anti-air?
Yeah, I mean, it's a Drake bomber. It's a little bit of a meme, but Neo-Tanks can't shoot back at it. And even a Drake bomber is going to leave a little bit of a dent in a Neo-Tank. And this forces anti-air. And even with Drake's terrible air, I can still kind of play that like back and forth across the river game. And
True.
the last thing the bomber does too is right now I've got that super vulnerable 6 HP infantry and my Neo that could probably be super powered into and killed.
Yeah.
And having the bomber there, he can't get any anti-air into range this turn. So it basically gives me a turn of breathing room where anything that comes into this area gets bombered.
I gotcha. Okay, cool. Yeah, that checks out. It's small wonder you're the number 6 player. Taking out that copter, that's definitely something the number 6 player would do. Just shooting copters with anti-air, that's pretty high level. Nice anti-air chain in case Max goes crazy with the tanks. And I even if this is cleared out, I don't think a superpower could hit those. Well, maybe this copter could like take out infantry. So I think this tank could get hit. But you could take a copter down with you with this extra anti-air.
Yeah. And also, if he does hit me up there, like, where's the loot? There's no real infantry that are in the best position to try to capitalize on any fighting over there.
That's true.
And any that would be better suited putting pressure on my HQ.
Yeah.
My lab.
Yeah, that makes sense. And now that the anti-air... Okay, so this anti-air is just chasing this copter. That makes sense. Taking out the infantry there. Oh, taking out his port. You could build the battleship and just lock down this whole area. Oh, yeah. Because, yeah, it's not even like one of those stationary battleships. It could wade into the water and like go on his port and then just start blasting his base.
Mm-hmm. And honestly, I don't think that's the best move on my end. That's more so just me trying to find something to do with those units. But, you know, it causes a little bit of panic on that area, and that's all you can really ask for sometimes.
Yeah, well, I mean, if you're building a battleship or an air carrier, I think it's never a bad move. But what do I know?
They're fun units.
Yeah. So gonna take a shot at this. I guess, yeah, it's a free shot because your anti-air is nowhere close. If that copter's running out of fuel, if you get another power soon, you might, I mean, you could pop your normal power to try to just deplete that thing. But if you get a superpower super fast, takes out that, and those copters are going to be safe from the anti-air, but you will get a tank, but then there's this bomber right here. So this is, it looks like Max has won this area.
Yep, quite handily, I'd say. I am in full retreat over there, and I'm trying to just defend the HQ, but there's only so many healthy infantry, and you can't threaten all the cities at once. And if you're not taking my cities, every engagement is going straight to my charge bank for the awesome button.
That's true, yeah, that makes sense. And you got 4 infantry in the area, Max is 2, and then like 2 damaged ones, but a lot more reinforcements, because this is your weak side. So you're going to have to either send infantry from... Well, I guess it's really hard to go from here. So, like, these 2 bases would have to defend the HQ. So I guess it, like, kind of works on the strong side. These rivers, they kind of mess with you.
Oh, absolutely. It's very difficult to play around that terrain.
Obliterates that thing. Didn't need to be eagle for that one to go through. And then going in, hitting the infantry. Which, yeah, that makes sense. Like, just slowing down the infantry trying to take these territories back since you don't really have a copter counter. And then bringing this anti-air back because this copter is going to run out of fuel. Don't even need to worry about that.
Also, I built the legendary Drake fighter.
Oh, yes! Oh, yes! Yes, this is the best. This is the best game. The Drake fighter. I wonder, like, I think normal fighter would one-shot a bomber. And Drake
Drake's
fighter leaves it to 2.
But they do if I press the funny button first. And that's what
true.
counts.
That's true. Drake can cancel it out with the funny button. That bomber's in the rain, won't know what hit it. And then, but Max has been sitting on the super for a long time, so you've done a good job about not really making it worth it for Max to click the button.
This is where it starts to get scary, though, because my HQ is under threat, and so I've got 2 lose conditions here. One is that my HQ gets captured, 3 really. 1, Max flips enough income that the powers stop being in my way. 2, the HQ gets capped. Or 3, I get charged like a decent way up, and then New just completely obliterates me and kills like half my army with a max blast.
Okay.
And I've got to play around those three lose conditions basically. And right now it is very scary because I'm starting to creep up in charge, and I want every losing engagement to go straight to my charge bank. And if they don't go straight to my charge bank, then they're just losing.
Yeah. So Max is like Max could try to like bait your power out and then pop his superpower and be able to go in, and then all that damage you wouldn't be getting charged for it.
Yeah, or just like if I get to like say 5 bars of charge and then Max hits me with like 6 bars of charge worth of damage. It's just that's all just wasted, and that's not what I want to see.
I gotcha. That makes sense. That's a free shot. The Drake fighter is too far. But hey, that's charge, and that Neo tank is still doing its job over there because it'll be able to mow down those infantry. And another anti-air. Neo tank should shuffle around, and your turn. Let's see what kind of madness you cook up. Picking off that infantry, taking a shot, interrupting that. And I figured that was coming, and you're just trying to. I guess hold New off as long as possible. Pick off that infantry so that, I mean, these cities are going to get flipped anytime soon. And your neotanks could always shift over. Bomber comes up. I'm guessing you put it in this particular position because it can threaten these as well as shift up here if necessary.
Yep. And another thing too, I'm running away from that side, but like, what healthy infantry is New going to get? Like, the loot on this side of the map now is dependent on 2 infantry that are about to eat a typhoon.
Yeah.
And locking the Drake airport. And that's what he can obtain right now. So I'm like, I have no more reason to fight over there. I've done my job over there. It's time to now make sure I don't lose by HQ cap.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, that's a very good point. Yeah, you don't have to worry about that. The only thing that could, under the worst circumstances, is this falling.
Mm-hmm.
And that was neutral.
If that falls on, if that falls on like turn 16, turn 17, you know what? That's denied enough income to be worth it.
Yeah. Is that technically his, or is it like contested?
I think it's contested. It's like 2 tank range from either player. Technically, It should be mine long term because it's an airport range, but also I'm Drake, so airport range doesn't mean as much.
Yeah, I got you. That makes sense. Okay, chaining anti-airs because you got to be careful about this bomber coming in and clapping him in one turn. And Max might be thinking about the super because Max has a ton of strong units over here. Bomber's gonna can't take it out. Infantry though finish the job. Tank comes in and gets the roll, allowing the copter to go in. Still no superpower though. Max is just sitting on it. Maybe if pop super, those things like these wouldn't have been rolls, you know?
No, I mean the tank smacking the infantry is not a roll. The bomber taking on the anti-air plus the infantry should just kill it pretty much every time. There's no value add really for popping the super, so you know he doesn't pop the super because there's no value add.
Oh, okay. I thought 30% was. Is 30% not a roll?
Sorry, it is a roll. It is
a
roll. But you know, it's worth taking. It's not worth popping a super. You know?
I gotcha. Yeah, that makes sense. I guess because the 3 could have still shot the thing.
Yep.
But for me, like every roll I think is gonna go unfavorable, so I just kind of plan for it. So if I'm like, oh, this is a roll, but I really need this infantry to die, and then I would pop it, which is probably why I'm like, I don't know how to play around that other than just assume the worst, because that's like, you know, you don't want to hope for the best. I mean, hope for the best, but plan for the worst. Like, you know, if your whole game plan hinges on a luck roll, like, I mean, you might as well just like be playing Nell or something at that point.
Yeah, and at a certain point too, it's just like, you know what? Let's just swing it and let the chips fall where they may. You know?
Yeah. And they're gonna take that out, allowing the copter to go in. Takes out the infantry there. This is not gonna get guaranteed though, because that infantry right there is just gonna ford the river and blow that up. And takes out the infantry. So infantry could be threatening your port there. Gonna get this. That's very guaranteed. Bomber. Yeah, bomber's too far. But yeah, that HQ could be falling. There's so many vehicles over here. Only four infantry, 2 of which are damaged. And oh, this guy's gonna die. So, and then the kill button is coming in. So I think both of these 2 are gone. So I think you might have to go Scorched Earth here and take out the other 2.
Yeah, as long as I can kill the infantry here, the threat to the peninsula is severely diminished. Because a bunch of vehicles can kind of bone around up there all they want. If they're not capturing anything, I don't have much reason to care.
That's true. Still no super. You've done a great job at denying it, or at least making it not worth it to pop. Goes in for a shot there. That's a good shot. And, alright, day 15. Yeah, you gotta move the Drake Fighter to counter those bombers. Oh, double Drake Fighter. This is the best.
Yeah.
Drake said you can be my wingman anytime.
Yeah, and the thing about Drake Fighters is, you know, they still bully air units just fine. And the best response to a Drake Fighter is a fighter of your own. And now you just built a fighter against Drake.
Yeah.
So Nu has a fighter here, but it's a fighter against Drake. Even if my fighters die, I'm probably going to get some first strikes on some air units. And then that fighter is going to be like, okay, who am I shooting against? It's Drake. What are we here for, guys?
Yeah, exactly. D just says the fighters are like the best unit in the game, in his opinion, which I tend to agree with. I think that was him, at least.
I do like fighters. I mean, I think objectively we gotta say it's infantry, tanks if you're looking for a shooting unit, but like, fighters are probably the coolest unit.
Right, but as like, I mean, obviously like infantry are like the most important, but it's like, the fighters like are the best at what they do, and that's blow up air units. You know what I mean?
Oh, absolutely. They're complete. Like the only like the best way to fight a fighter is with another fighter, and that says a lot, I think.
Yeah, exactly. Gonna take a shot there. So weakening. Oh, I don't know if that was a roll. I mean, I guess you could have popped Tsunami to guarantee it, but might not be worth it. It might just be worth saving for the Typhoon. Taken out, yes, going Scorched Earth. All those infantry must die. Bang, there's another one. Gotta protect the HQ, or the lab. And moving back, because you really can't push into this to capture it, so there's really no point in you going in. Except for right here, which only this copter covers, but you don't have any infantry to go in anyway. Oh, you're threatening Max's lab. Could be the turntables. Oh no, actually just going to defend the lab.
I'm not. Listen, if the game ends by lab cap, that's going to tend to favor Max a little more because he doesn't want the game to draw on as much as Drake.
That's true.
So I want this thing to last a while.
That's true. The turns were indeed not tabled, and Max's lab is safe for the time being.
And also, look, that's 1, 2, 3, 4 Neotanks. 2 anti-air, and a copter that probably does not have enough fuel to front shift.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. It's like what Hunch said on the stream, like, all this value is down here just doing nothing.
Exactly, yeah. And, you know, there's 2 healthy infantry, good luck capitalizing.
Yeah, Max is starting to build infantry down here, but it might be, like, a little slow before Max can do anything. But the front shift will cost this. You can take a shot or 2, but that property's going through for sure.
Yeah, for sure.
Not for sure? Oh, that's right. That's right. Oh, man.
Now, who do you think you're speaking to? Are you letting my opponent have income? Oh. I learned this game through what I call the hyperbolic, the hyperbolic Poland's time chamber. Only fighting Poland on Live League for like a very long time, and it leads to some interesting philosophies about letting your opponent have income, we'll say.
Yeah, I've like, it's crazy because like this is so random, but like I watch so many videos on YouTube, right? And everyone's like, every time there's a Poland game, like, you know, his playstyle's so exciting, it makes for good content. So there's so many Poland games. And everyone's like, oh, this guy's Poland's so legendary, he's legendary. And then like 80% of the games they show are actually Poland losing. Because they're like, oh, look at how this guy upset this legend. So it's like funny of like obviously I'm not like, you know, taking any shots or saying he's bad or anything like that. Like, I mean, he's like, what, number 2 or something? But like, it's just funny how the videos that get shown, the selection bias is always like against Poland.
Oh, it's the curse of being good. Like somebody beats you and they're like, oh my gosh, I just did this awesome thing. Like I'm guilty of this. I've shown off some of my Poland wins,
Yeah.
and it's like you beat him, you like pop off. You're like, I just beat such a strong player, and then it's just like, and then people are like, oh my gosh, look at this crazy thing that happened. Nobody's making content of Poland doing his like 8-hour stomp streams on like the random denizens of the library because that's the expected. The expected thing is for him to win.
Yeah.
Unexpected, the good content is him losing.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just funny how it works out like that. We're gonna join Cat, but let's see, that's got 6 left. You could definitely stop a lot of it, and then moving the copter right here to take a shot at the tank. That tank is a goner. Bang, gonna block. Yep. So you could still attack from this square. And the fighters and bombers are gonna back off because they have that extra movement, so they don't have to worry about things like movement range and stuff like that. And we'll see if you pop your power to interrupt these caps.
Oh, well, we'll see. We'll see.
Bang, takes out the tank, takes out the copter, goes in, takes out another copter. Those Drake fighters already 2 for 2. Neo tank, got enough for the super. There it is. Bang. The Typhoon comes in. Max goes from, you have to do the obligatory global damage value check. It's just in the YouTuber nature.
Absolutely.
265k to 209k. Wow. Like, that's insane. It's just 50k in value just gone. And even more value gone as those tanks are getting one shot. Even the Drake bomber, not even scared. 1 HP infantry gets 1 shot. And, oh yes! Yes, there it is! The air carrier has hit the field.
It gets even better.
Yes!
It gets even better.
Do air carriers refuel, if you like dock your planes, does it refuel their fuel and ammo when they come out?
I think they do, but I'm gonna be honest, I haven't used a carrier enough to really know.
Yeah, it would be so situational, like refueling something. Or like doing that to refuel something for an air unit, but...
Yeah. In fact, to this day, whenever I build or I'm thinking about building a carrier, what I'll do is I will very quickly open another tab and look for a game that has a carrier so I can check the range. So I don't know about her.
I think it's 3 to 8.
I think you're right, but am I going to remember that? Who knows?
Yeah. Air carrier, though, this is hype. Okay, I was like a little miffed about the Drake thing, and then the air carrier just... Yeah, you can be Drake if you're building air carriers and battleships. Oh, this HQ is now the safest building on the map. This is a no-fly zone and a no-ground zone. This is amazing. This is absolutely amazing.
And also, too, this is now 2 Typhoons before Max has been able to pop Max Force. So I've gotten an amazing amount of value. And also, now, if New's in a little bit of a catch-22, where he can either pop Max Force with a bunch of 8 HP units into my superpower charged, like, Von Bolt 1010 units, or he can wait a turn before popping it and give me all the charge for popping Max Force. So there isn't really a good option here, because it's brutal to get hit by 2 global damage powers before you even use your first one.
Yeah, that makes sense. What would you do if you were Max? Would you pop it and go in, or would you wait?
I think you've got to swing. If the battleship is allowed to stand there, then the game is just going to go on for too long, and you're just like, at a certain point, you just need to burn the power, because you can start burning, like, getting more powers back, and there's a fair bit of value you can get on the board here from a power. So it's not like the worst thing in the world, but I mean, you definitely have preferred to pop this power before the second Typhoon, if not the first.
I gotcha. Going in. Oh, does pop it. I didn't even see it get activated, but there's the happy tunes of the power popping coming in, and there's the super, goes in, knocks that Drake fighter down to 2. That thing's hitting like a wet noodle now. Gonna take down the anti-air. Copter gets the clear out. This city's still not going to go through. A fighter somehow telepathically makes that bomber blow up before it even arrives. So That's just the power of max fighters right there. Is they just look in your general direction and then you just instantly explode. This bomber comes in and it hits the battleship down to 5, which is a lot less than I thought it would do, to be honest. And the bomber's low fuel as well, so I think it's...
that battleship has 50% defense. It's a Drake bomber on a port. Drake battleship
true,
on a port
yeah.
during super.
Dang, that 50% defense might have just bailed you out.
I think it did.
Let's see. So let's see, this was an 8, and then Drake super, or I guess this would be a 10, right? So
yeah.
That would be a 5, and if you're not Drake, not super...
And not on a port.
And not on a port. Yeah, that's true, wow. That's crazy, that's the power of defense. But I'm a Grim player now, so I don't know what defense is. And gonna knock that Neo tank down to 1. Gonna knock this Neo just takes it out entirely. Neo tanks move back to get repaired. What's your opinion on like repairing units versus global damage versus like joining them?
It's tricky. If you think you can get a few repair turns off, I'd go for it. But in a case like this, there's a lot of value on the board. I think at a certain point you just gotta bite the bullet and say, okay, I either have a 1 HP Neo that's going to walk around as a blocker, or I'm going to join my Neos to give fewer targets for the global damage.
I gotcha. Because I kept repairing an Olaf Mir, and it just backfired. But that bomber is going to get to pick off. Anti-air, though, going to be able to trade it out between the two of them. Should be able to take out that bomber. This anti-air could block one, though. Of course, that anti-air will get taken out. Oh, no. Dang, this game has it all. This is the beauty of high funds. Whoa, and the voice crack. The submarine made my voice crack. This is insane. Oh my gosh, dude. This is the best.
High funds is a very fun mode. Unless you're playing an Eagle Mirror, in which, yeah. But we don't talk about that.
Yeah. So you think this submarine is pretty much the only way that Max can make progress here with the battleship and the air carrier?
Yeah, I mean, it's the fastest way to threaten these two units. I mean, I've sunk 60,000 of my funds into 2 units that can get shot by a submarine, and I can't, in order to get value, they need to be constantly firing, and I can't stop a sub from hitting them if I'm constantly firing with both of them, because both my ports are open. So I think it's a very good buy here.
I got you. You said sunk your value into those 2 ships. That's the kind of content you guys tune in for. That's more the Kessler analysis you were expecting right there.
Well, I can brain rot with the best of them.
So yeah, going in on the bomber. Thanks to that superpower, though, your anti-air does take some considerable amount of damage back, but finish it off. Good value for the anti-air. Air carrier, oh man. This doesn't even blink. Not even giving that bomber a chance to run out of fuel before just obliterating it and allowing that. Oh, I wonder if that was a roll.
I think it was. I think if it wasn't, I might have just sacked the 2 HP anti-air to guarantee it.
So it looks like 74 to 82, but no power, it would be not a roll.
Yeah.
So that power made it a roll. Oh, and then the fighter finishes it off.
Oh, yeah.
Wait, what was that? The Neo tank. The Neo tank obliterates that tank. Battleship, yes, gotta expel all the infantry, and you've done a great job keeping the city lead. Even if this does go through, you'd still be up. So.
Which I'm sure I wouldn't be crazy enough to go after that thing again. There's so many Neos over there.
Yeah. But you're going in, knocking that one down, because you can go in now, because Max can't get charged, but you can get charged. Got the Typhoon, the Tsunami, but we see a Typhoon here, obliterates that guy. Gonna take a nice shot out of that infantry, knocks it down to 4, threatening the lab, but it's not really a threat, because Max has enough infantry over there.
Yeah, that's more so I don't know what else to do with that infantry than anything else.
That's fair. Another anti-air chain. Got the airport lock too. Medium tank. Oh, it won't have the movement to block, nor will this tank. So that airport is pretty locked right now. But I guess like a fighter, it wouldn't. Oh, you have it locked from 2 sides. So yeah, Max cannot build an air unit unless he takes out some of these anti-airs. But Anti-Air is going to take that out, and the Anti-Air finishes off the Neo, allowing another Neo shot. So Max is getting good value off of this. Okay, that's at 1 HP, but takes out a couple Neos, pretty much. But you are now fully charged.
I can press the button again.
Yeah, and Max is almost to max force, but there's no point popping it this turn. Gonna pop an Anti-Air. Anti-Air pops the fighter, and that 7 HP fighter, which is running out of fuel quickly, takes a shot at that fighter, and now they're both at 5. So that's good for Max because your fighters have that minus 30%. Anti-Air takes that out, and still kind of have a halfway airport lock. Like, you'd knock a bomber fighter down to like 3 or 4, and then they would get healed up. So it's not like a total 100% you have this locked down. But actually, well, you pop your power first, so it'd be like 1 or 2 HP. So yeah, I guess it is kind of close to being locked down.
And if you look at, as well, where are the infantry on the peninsula? They seem to have all theirs.
Yeah, the Scorch Earth strategy has worked. And now the only thing left is this 4 HP who's not capturing anything. So, and you're ahead on Max in value, but Max isn't built yet. Submarine hides in the coral reef there. And okay, yeah, Max has to build the infantry, but every time Max is building an infantry, that's not like a big Neo tank or something that he's building. But the Neo tank is down here, and yeah, you didn't even give Max a chance to sit here and pass gas before popping that that Typhoon. And both of you are low time. You got 3 minutes, and Max has 2 minutes. So Max is like pretty close to increment, and you're pretty close to increment too. Or is that like just the is that like updated per turn, or is that like the end of the game?
I think that updates at the end of each turn.
Okay.
So we are both very low time here.
Okay. Taking out the Anti-Air. And the battleship just inflicting some more damage after it healed back up to 7. And then the fighter, you know, you could see where the submarine went there. So you have the fighter over here to spot it. So you could, would you see where it goes, or would you just see like the first direction it goes?
I mean, I'd see the first direction it goes, but it's shooting at one of my ships if it moves. So
okay.
I don't think it's going to be a secret.
Yeah, and with power, I guess this is a direct unit, so it would benefit from that. Starting this city. Not going to go through, probably, as these two are right there to be able to swing, and then something can be built out of there. But,
check movement range.
Another Anti-Air. Oh, wow! The rain! Oh my goodness! The rain is insane, although with Super, this medium tank could interrupt this. And at the
I
tank...
don't think they actually can, because each plane tile costs 2 extra movement.
Oh, true. That's true. Yes. I see. This is how bad I am with weather. So yeah, there's no way that. Oh, that's safe. Nicely done. The rain is clutch, bogging down Max's army. Gonna take out that Neo tank. Oops. And there's the resignation. Now, I think the burning question on everyone's mind after witnessing this is, would the submarine be better off shooting at the battleship or the air carrier?
Ooh, I mean, what air units are there left?
That's true.
I mean, I think you gotta shoot the battleship.
That's true.
Actually, there's no air units left. Come to think of it.
I think that would one-shot the battleship, because submarines do a lot.
I don't know, though. It's 8 HP, it's Drake during power.
Oh, it does 4 if Max pops his super. Oh, I didn't know that. I wonder if it was at 10 HP, how much it would do. It's still kind of a lot. But yeah, that Drake defense, I think, let's see, Max, 8 HP, no super against not Drake. Okay, so yeah, it does still do a lot if it's not Drake. Dang, that 10% defense is huge.
Yeah, it's nice. It's like the most like random day-to-day bonus of all time. But when it comes in, you're like, you know what? That's kind of nice. That's kind of nice.
Maybe like they didn't want to buff his naval unit's attack for some reason. Maybe because like they already do so much damage.
They also have a plus move.
Yes.
Which passive plus move is an insane bonus. And if naval units weren't so like generally lackluster, that would have been like insanely wild.
Yeah, that's true. There are some maps like Capsize or whatever that have actual legit naval battles, which is cool.
Mhm.
I think it's just hard to make good naval battles because I would like try to make maps on the DS with naval battle, like try to make good naval battle maps, and it was just really hard.
Yeah, I mean the problem with a naval battle is the first person to build air wins. So
Yeah, true. Unless you build an air carrier. But
that's
like,
true, but even then, they get countered by bombers.
oh yeah, true. What about a cruiser? I think bombers
Oh.
still destroy cruisers, right? I don't know.
The most legendary unit in the game, the 18k copter counter that loses to first strike by counters.
Yes, yes, yeah. Well, actually, I thought that its main use was submarine counter.
That too. Well, it counters submarines. I'll give cruisers that. When you see a submarine in competitive advance wars, there's nothing better.
Yeah.
When you see a submarine in competitive advance wars.
Yeah, yeah, that's the problem. We did see a submarine here, and it was actually a really useful submarine. You just didn't get a chance to shoot it at the battleship. But yeah, what a game. So, do you have any like final thoughts on the game?
Y'all should queue high funds because this is a very fun game mode. It's you can do some wacky stuff like I went super aggro as Drake and it was viable. You can create some pretty interesting strategies through high funds, and it's a fun way to mix up how you play the game. And I'd recommend more people give it a try.
All right, I might have to do so. All right, well, thanks for hopping on, man. I really enjoyed it. I felt like I learned so much. This has been a fun time.
Glad to hear it. Thanks for having me.
All right, see you in the next one.